What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be checking out this 2026 Toyota GR86 equipped with the Performance Package. This one's finished in Raven. MSRP is a little over $35,000. Big shout out to Flo Toyota of Statesville for providing the sports car for today's video. Check their website linked down below. Underneath the hood of the 2026 Toyota GR86, you're going to find that naturally aspirated 2.4 liter boxer 4-cylinder engine. This makes 228 horsepower with 184 pound-feet of torque. It's paired to a 6-speed automatic for the specific trim. We have a limited slip rear differential. This is rear-wheel drive. 0 to 60 is going to be around 6 seconds, topping out at about 140 miles per hour. Also weighs in just 2,800 pounds. And with a 13.2 gallon fuel tank, you can expect 21 mpg in the city with 30 out on the highway. The overall length is 167.9 inches with wheelbase at 104.4, width is 69.9, and height is 51.6 inches. And then now moving on to the exterior styling with the 2026 GR86. Very cool looking sports car, and it is a very small car too, so it has a pretty cool proportion. You're going to see the dark housings for the LED headlights really nicely integrated into the bodywork. Front bumper protrudes forward to give it a more aggressive, sporty look. Got your Toyota badge, GR logo as well, and then a huge opening to provide cooling to the radiator. We're gonna get a functional air inlet on the farthest side of the bumper with a lot of sharp lines all throughout it. It's a great looking car, especially at the price point. Nothing really looks like this. You have some sharp lines in the upper portion of the bumper that lead right into the hood, giving it a nice long hood design like any traditional sports car would. For the side, this one has that performance package with the Brembo brakes. We're gonna get 4 pistons up front with a 12.8-inch rotor, and then in the rear, we're gonna get a 2-piston caliper with 12.4-inch rotors. I really like the satin black design along the wheels. They look really good for this car. And then there's a functional air inlet on the back side of the front fender to provide some airflow through that fender itself. You can see how long the hood is, giving it that nice sporty look, and then the side skirt protrudes outwards quite a lot to give it a pretty nice flare down low. We're going to get body colored mirror caps as well as door handles, and then all black trim throughout these windows. Up above, we have kind of a double bubble design with these 2 sharp body lines as well as a shark fin antenna. And then taking a look at the side profile, once again, really proportional for a rear wheel drive sports car with that long front end and sloping rear end design as well. We have some nice looking fender flares too. They bulge outwards a little bit to give the car some extra width, and especially in the black color, it's a really clean looking car. We have a cool set of LED taillights with a gloss black connecting bar. We have our rear view backup camera, 3rd brake light, trunk release, Toyota badge, as well as the 86 badge. And then down below, we're gonna get a pretty nice looking rear bumper with some sharp body lines, rear parking sensors as well. Dual exhaust with a black diffuser, reverse light all integrated into the center. And overall, it's a really sporty looking car with a really good price tag as expected. As we make our way to the interior, for the key fob, you just get the Toyota logo, all of your buttons, of course, some silver trim, and then I can just hit the lock button, and with the key fob in my pocket, just grabbing the door handle, it can automatically unlock. So this one is just the basic GR86, so we just have a nice black fabric interior. For the door panel, finished off all in black. We have some soft touch material up above, a little bit of hard plastics, but a lot of soft touch materials throughout it, some fabric on the insert, and then all of those controls. Grab handle up above, and then nice set of all-weather floor mats. Just get some black plastic for the door sill, and then these are our manual controlled fabric seats. Really cool texture throughout them and huge bolsters. So even for being a more basic car, this one has a really nice set of basic seats. You can see the smooth design up to the headrest, and then a really nice small 3-spoke design on the leather wrapped steering wheel. And then now inside the 2025 Toyota GR86, keep my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire up. And then taking a look at the gauge cluster, you can see how it has that opposing piston design, kind of like a boxer engine. On the far right side, we can see the coolant and fuel. We have the tach right in the center, along with a digital speed readout, battery over on the left side, and then we can configure a couple things using this. So I can scroll down and see a lot of different items over on that left side of the screen. Now, when we play with your drive modes, you can go into sport. We also have a snow mode, and then holding on track mode, you get a really cool large tachometer, which is a nice touch to see. For the steering wheel, we have our Toyota badge right in the center. Cruise control is going to be way down here. Got the GR badge as well. those controls on the right side, as well as some cruise control for the forward pacing. And then we have some Bluetooth and audio controls on the left with a nice set of steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. On the right stock, we're going to get everything for the windshield wipers, headlights over on the left with your turn signals, interior dimming, trunk release, just some harder plastic trim throughout it with an air vent and a speaker up above. You're going to get a little bit of soft touch material throughout the upper dash, nice silver trim piece for the right side of the dashboard, and then the multimedia screen integrated nicely into the center. We have all of your different tiles for a couple different things, roadside assistance you can take a look at. We have settings within the car as well. You can scroll through a few different things. And we have a couple items up above, physical buttons on the left and right side, different apps you can toggle, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. And then if I go into reverse, you have a nice little backup camera with decent HD graphics, as well as all of your guidelines, and of course the parking sensors. Underneath the screen, we're going to get all the climate controls. We have a dual zone design where you can easily toggle these two. We have right in the center your fan speed, and then the mode toggle is down here with a nice depiction on that small screen. Got a few other defroster, air conditioning, sync as well. And then down below for the automatic, you have this really cool shift knob, kind of looks like a manual. We have the pattern down here with a nice leather shift boot, and then here are those drive modes earlier. We have the traction control on off, the sport, snow, hold down for track. You're going to see a manual parking brake as well with the same black leather and the white stitching, a little bit of storage throughout the center, and an armrest with some padding. We can open that up, and then there's two extra cup holders in here, as well as a couple extra plugs, and then on the far right side, we have a pretty large glove box. One last look at the interior with the GR86. Not really anything has changed for the GR generation, but nice car overall, even in a basic form. It's a pretty sporty looking interior, just a basic black headliner with the dome lights up above and a thin basic mirror. Then we have our safety system up above. And then taking a look at the rear seats, I can manually slide forward the front seat and then grab the handle to pull up the backrest. You're going to get two seats in the back of a GR86. This is more of a 2+2 versus a true 4-seater. As you can tell, you're not really going to get any legroom as a grown-up with the seat in the normal position. There are speakers back here, and then you can collapse the entire backrest if needed. So hopping into the back of the GR86, so like I said, this is more of a 2+2 seater. The seat bottoms really cradle you. You sink down in them, but your knees are super high up, and I'm not even gonna try to put the driver's seat back to a position that's worth sitting in. This is insanely cramped, very small back seat. Good for maybe tiny little kids who are forward facing at least, and storage. That's kind of the goal in the back of the 86. Full grown adults, it would be insanely tight, but you do at least have the seats in a pinch if needed. Moving on to the trunk space, we can just tap the little button right in the center. It'll manually pop, and then we can lift it up. You have a decent amount of space in here. It is, again, a very small car. Couple backpacks in here. With the seats folded down, you could probably fit 2 golf bags in here, but this is a very small car. I do like the all-weather floor mat with the GR86 logo. And then underneath the floor mat, if we pull the whole floor up, you're just gonna get some tire changing equipment and a little bit of extra storage space. So with that backrest folded down, it does fold perfectly flat, which is really cool. So it does maximize at least the space in here to use this as a practical daily. So for being a small, affordable, fun to drive sports car, it's still practical enough for people and stuff. All right, so setting off now in the GR86. So while it's not the fastest car out there, you know, in terms of acceleration, this thing is so much fun to drive. I love how little the steering wheel is, how little and compact this car feels. When you take turns, this car is so flat. It is just an absolute blast to rip through the turns. You know, we've been on the racetrack with the 86s, and they are just so much fun because the handling is like nothing else. No car weighs less than 3,000 pounds these days. So this car is just an absolute fun toy. Now, this one's got the Brembo brakes. Around town, you're not really gonna notice the biggest of differences, but when you take this out on the racetrack, these brakes do a great job letting this little car come to a standstill. So this is a cool package, and you can, I believe, retrofit any of the 86s with the Brembos from your Toyota dealership. Has a decent sound to it. It definitely just sounds like engine. There's not exactly a deep tone to it. But I like how there is just enough torque to kind of give you a little bit of extra pep versus the old FRS and the GT86. So they've done a good job with the engine tuning just to give you a little bit more displacement and response to make this a bit peppy around town. Now the drive modes don't honestly really do much. It's basically just traction control and the design of the gauge cluster. Not exactly a night and day difference when you play with the different drive modes. But when you do go back to automatic normal, you know, this can still be just a normal daily driver. It's comfortable enough. These seats fit me very well. I find myself just sitting nice in the car. The technology is very simple, but honestly, all you need is CarPlay and physical climate controls, and you got the perfect interior. So it's got enough. Gauge cluster looks good, it's easy to read. And the visibility, you know, it's a small car, but overall it's really easy just to see around and not really have any complaints. It's just a nice, pretty normal car to drive. There's nothing about it that is difficult to drive in the automatic form. The transmission is smooth shifting, and you know, it's nothing jerky or abrupt. It's just your basic 6-speed automatic. Now with the manual, it's a very forgiving manual as well if you want to have that fun factor with the third pedal down there. I would prefer the manual just because I find it a lot of fun, but the automatic gives you the blend of both worlds. It's smooth and normal for your day-to-day, but then when you pop it into manual mode, it's responsive enough. It's not like a ZF 8-speed like you would find in a real performance-focused car, but it still gives you the ability to play with the gears. It responds nicely. So this is something that you can have a lot of fun with, even on the racetrack or the mountains. So I don't really see any drawbacks with the automatic versus the stick shift. Interior, there's definitely some hard, cheaper plastics. It's kind of a cheaper car in general. The premium version of this, which will have like the Alcantara and the leather materials all around it, or of course if you go with any special edition, like for 2026, the Yuzu yellow, which is a sweet one to go in, you know, you definitely get a bit more luxury focused interior, and it does feel honestly a lot nicer. But the nimble characteristics, the way it drives, it is so fun. It is so flat in the turns, there's no body roll, the brakes work, the limited slip does what it needs to do. This honestly is just one of the most fun cars for 35 grand. So my honest thoughts with the GR86. So we've been around these cars honestly quite a lot. My brother actually owned one of these, so we actually have quite a lot of content on our channel modifying the GR86. We've been around the racetrack with these cars. We've done a lot with this platform. Truly, it is one of the most fun cars you can buy for the money. In a day and age where everybody wants more and more horsepower, this is the one car that kind of doesn't care about horsepower and simply wants you to have fun. When you take it around the track, yes, coming out of these sharp turns, pinning it, it's not exactly going to blow your socks off. However, when we were driving this alongside the Supra and the Lexus RCF, I was still hitting 100 miles an hour on the straightaway and then ripping it through the turns. So I was literally getting to the same speeds that I was doing in cars with twice the power. And then this thing, taking it through the turns, the handling is so good. It is so flat, the steering wheel is tiny. It is just ultra tossable and fun. And I think you can kind of lose a sense of fun when you start adding more and more horsepower. And then around town, you know, it's just a maneuverable, nice, normal car. It's easy to drive, it's easy to see around. You know, you have the basic technology and things like that. But this car has been available now for quite a long time. 2013, we saw the Scion FRS, and I actually got to drive one around an autocross course back when I was still in high school. And that was one of the first experiences with the FRS in general. So I've been around this platform since, honestly, I was a kid. So now driving in the latest generation of it, again, it's really not all too different from the one 13 years ago, but they've tuned it up to where you have better options, better features. The power is better for daily driving. The FRS, I think, was a little too sluggish. It was hard to get out of its own way, which for me personally seemed unsafe. I didn't like that. My old car back when I was a kid was a Scion TC, which was super slow, and that thing was so stressful getting up to speed. The FRS wasn't much quicker, so I got a Turbo Genesis Coupe at the time instead of an FRS. Now fast forward, the GR with the extra torque and the larger engine, it goes a long way. This isn't a bad car to daily drive. It's peppy enough to get up to speed. You can merge onto the highway. You don't have to redline it all the time just to get up to speed. So it is enough power for a daily driver to be a safe, nice daily driver. But then it comes alive once you are moving. This is a momentum car. So once you're up and moving, it's got enough power to carry the weight through the sharp turns. You can rip it. You can maintain 100 miles an hour on the racetrack and really just drive it however you want. So it has a lot to offer, and it is just a fun, fun car. So back into track mode, we'll do one last acceleration. Even short shifting, obviously with a brand new engine, you know, we're up to speed like that. So it wasn't like I had to abuse the car to get moving. I love that aspect. And when you take the turns, this car just comes alive and it puts a smile on your face knowing you're not gonna be breaking any laws. You know, this is not the car you're gonna be going around turns, hitting triple-digit speeds. This is a slow enough car to where you can have so much fun redlining and doing crazy things in this car, but you're never gonna break the speed limit. So that is something that is so good about this car. You can have honest fun. But there is the new Toyota GR86. We'll see what Toyota does with this car over the next few years if it sticks around. I think they have been very successful with the 86 in general. But if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for plenty more content. Big shout out once again to Flo Toyota of Statesville for providing this car for today's video. Check out their website link below, and I'll see you all in the next video.